Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. More importantly, welcome to Macro Monday. Okay, so this week I'm taking a close look at some moss, but more importantly I want to see just how good this Canon 100mm f2.8 macro lens really is. This is the first series, not the second series, but the reviews that I've seen of it say that it's one of the sharpest lenses out there. So I want to put that to the test. So I've purchased a few other bits and pieces as well to do with macro photography. I've actually got a focusing rail. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lens on a 1:1 magnification, and I'm going to use the focusing rail to focus. So I'm actually moving the whole camera backwards and forwards rather than the lens, rather than focusing the lens. And I think you can get a much cleaner, sharper image by moving the camera rather than focusing the lens. So that's what I'm going to do. Remember, this camera hasn't got pixel shift, so I've got myself a nice little remote that I'm going to use. I'm going to use a 10-second timer. I'm going to focus with the focus rail. I've got a bit of white card behind the subject, which is sat on a red card. I'm using the light from the window bouncing off the white card back onto it, and I've also got a little light on the camera that I'm going to switch on just to give me a little bit of foreground light. I'm probably going to put it under the camera, take it off the camera, put it under it, just to give it a bit of front light, but not too much. Hopefully that'll illuminate the whole thing evenly and give us a real nice, crisp, sharp image of some moss. Okay, so you can see that moving the focus rail means that you could get much more precise movements by moving the camera rather than actual trying to move the actual lens itself, because you can get real crisp, really close in on your subject. And literally it's minute tiny details until you get it absolutely spot on. So in all fairness, when you take the image, remember this is on a 10-second timer. When you take the image, no reason at all why it shouldn't be a good image, because setting it up is so precise. Settings for this one are f11 for 15 seconds. ISO 100, which is quite a long shutter really for something like this. So I'm going to play about and see if I can't get it down a little bit, add a bit of light, and get the shutter speed down a little bit, and it should give me a much sharper image because there'll be no movement whatsoever. But hopefully I can create a nice image, nice macro image of some moss. I've been having a play around. I managed to get the shutter speed down to 1.6 seconds at f8 ISO 100. I introduced a little bit of light. And like I say, I was bouncing the light off the window, from the window, off of a white card at the back of it, just to balance the light out a little bit. I've got him nice and close. Doesn't really matter about the background it's sat on because I'm so close. It would matter if it was pulled back a bit. But when you're setting something like this up, make sure you've got a really good sturdy tripod, because you'll need one. It makes everything around this very, very heavy, especially with something like a Canon 5D Mark III. It's quite a heavy camera, when you're putting it on a focusing slider like this, hanging over the edge with the tripod tilted like this, then it makes it quite sort of front heavy. So yeah, just be aware of what you're doing. Take things sort of slowly and take your time. I think we'll leave it at that. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you please leave any comments below about what you want to see on the channel, on the macros side of it. Because it's a struggle for me to come up with ideas week after week after week. But it would help if you could let me know what you want to see in the comments. And then it's a one less thing for me to think about. So on that note, I think this setup is going to be really good. I'm not missing the Pentax in any way. I've taken some lovely shots of some wildlife and some birds in flight. So the setup that I got is definitely one that I'm really happy with. So onward and upward. So that said, if you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, give it a share, and if you haven't yet subscribed, then please consider doing so. And hopefully I'll see you next week. Bye for now.
Close your eyes and go to sleep. All the good times are yours to keep. Recalling the thrills of the love you know. This is the sound to be tuned into. What your heart tells you is where you need to be. What your heart tells you is what you need to see.